This week I moved a large pile of wood that was occupying the corner of the workshop. It's stacking up very nicely in the new tarp shed. And my mother brought home a large, like, drawer cabinet type thing, and I think it'd be a perfect spot for that. You might be wondering why I added such a gap back there, and I call that the cat gap. So my cat can go back there and get any mice or whatever might be in the building. I think that should help quite a bit. And also, it's so wind can get around there and help wick away any humidity. I would really hate for moisture to creep up the wall and like ruin the boards. But for the bottom drawer, I want something heavy. And And I think electric motors would be a best use here. There was a bit more motors than I thought I had, but whatever. And I guess I'll put a VFD in there too. That won't be out of place too much, I don't think. And lastly, I think I'll have the David Bradley chainsaw parts in there. That's a shame. Well, that can sit out, it's fine. A lot of weight there. Then on the second one, I think I'll put wood on that. So now if I need a piece of wood, whether it be a crappy piece of wood just to break or something to make a nice handle out of, got all these little bits in here. And that way, they're not strewn around like 4 different boxes. And then at the end of the year, I'll go through it and this will be like a little firewood box. Well, except for like the really nice stuff. This one will be for electronics, which most electronics I still have to do a video on. It's just a big pile of junk that my friend Griff gave me, and I figure we'll go through it. But I guess these can go in there. These are neat little CAN bus debug things that are basically a computer. Oh, they're all really nasty. By the way, I think I can use them as just like a laptop, touchscreen laptop with like a Pentium 4 or whatever. Do some fun stuff with that. And then there's this one. I'll figure out what that one's for. But it's nice to have all this. And then I guess I still have on top, but I can put stuff on. So that might be for... I know what I'll do. All my speakers can go up there because I want to eventually have... I just found a couple spools of speaker wire that I got from my neighbor, so that's advantageous. But I plan to get these speakers put up in the workshop, not necessarily for loudness, but just for an even sound. Ah, I got it. I can hide my trays behind there. Been looking for a good place to hide these. I was going to do a couple more things, but it's really nasty hot weather, and I'm probably just going to spend a couple more days slowly sifting some more lumber into the tarp shed instead of trying to get anything done in the video, because, you know, like, even though I only filmed like 2 hours of this video, it took like a couple days to move all the lumber and find out how to organize it and sort it in the tarp shed. So it's actually like a 4-day process for this. I might see about getting some air conditioning in the main part of the workshop, because it is pretty bad. Or, hear me out, build a tunnel complex underneath the workshop and pump the air up. Now I say that jokingly, but I am planning to drop a shaft down the middle of the workshop, and about the size of a well, and go down maybe 15 feet and see about tunneling out. I mean, why not? If it caves in the workshop, whatever. It'll be made out of masonry brick, and very sturdy, and I don't know, I'm still thinking about it. Or we have the well out front, which I think it's still operational. Might drill through the cover on that well and see if we can get some cool air out of that, or get some cool water. That's another idea. I forgot I was already working on that. There's too many projects. I'm gonna need a couple of days just to sit down and think like what else to do. I think I have a big blue cabinet in the storage unit that I need to dig out. That'll take some time. But this big television, which I want to keep it because it's pretty cool, it doesn't need to be right there. So that will move right there. So it'll almost be like a little dividing wall. And so that cabinet will be hidden behind the television, which I think would be kind of a neat effect. I like the idea of having like one giant room and just having a couple dividers in the room and not having different rooms. Like my dream house that I'm kind of thinking about making is essentially just a copy of my house in Final Fantasy XIV, which is like essentially just a 50-foot by 30, yeah, I'd say like a 60 by 30 by 20-foot big room with just a couple dividers in there, and I like how it looks, and I think I would want to do that in real life. And that it would be like a basement, because in the game you expand your house by having a big basement. You have a tiny house, big basement, and I've been utilizing it more like I kind of ignore the upstairs, and when I have friends over in the game, we go to the downstairs, and I think that would probably be very similar in real life. You just have like a tiny house, but a huge basement. It would be so cool. Well, I think I'm gonna end there because it is fucking hot, and I don't want to do too much of this. I'm getting kind of burnt out, and so I'm just kind of doing a little bit as it's, you know, like if you think a bit on something, a solution goes from being fuzzy to being doable to being inevitable. And so after you think a little while, then you realize like, oh, that is going to be so easy for me to do that. I just need to go and do it. And so I'm not pushing myself to figure things out. I'm just letting it evolve naturally. So maybe like next week I'll do a little bit more. Oh, I should use that that stair thing to make a staircase for my cat. I kept it for something. Now I know what I kept it for. It's just a matter of keeping it long enough till you figure out what you kept it for. I hope you guys enjoyed this very quick little video, a little update on the workshop, and thank you very much for watching. See ya.